Hi, I'm Glenn Everitt, Master of Machines. We're back at PowerHouse Engines in Warragul, Victoria, Australia. We're in their dyno room, and this time we've got one for the Mopar fans. This big, bad and black 413 cubic inch Chrysler big block. These are a pretty cool old engine, and they date right back to the late 50s. And the owner of this engine actually wanted something that was very practical. He's putting it in some sort of a heavy vehicle, and he wants to be able to turn the key in that thing and drive anywhere without a drama. He wants torque, he wants drivability, a little bit of muscle, decent power, and something that's going to be an all-round fantastic package. So what we've actually done with this engine is we've done some bedding in with it, we've done a few dyno runs just to get it close to the mark, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to give you a rundown on the engine build specs, then we're going to start ramping this baby up and making some power. The Chrysler 413RB was utilised from 1959 to 1965 in cars and medium to heavy duty trucks until 1979. In the 1959 Chrysler 300E, the 413 wedge was rated at 380 horsepower and fitted with inline dual 4-barrel carburetors. In 1960, for the same model, a long tube ram induction system was standard equipment, and in 1962 a special version known as the Max Wedge was made available for drag racing and street use, producing 420 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. This meticulously assembled example built by PowerHouse Engines features the original 3.75-inch stroke with the factory 4.1875 bore being increased, resulting in a total capacity of 421 cubic inches. PowerHouse's stringent testing of the engine block integrity has taken place prior to a comprehensive in-house machining and blueprinting process. For rotating assembly, the factory steel crank was index ground, combined with factory conrods that are fully restored, blueprinted and fitted with ARP rod bolts. All precision balanced to within 0.03 grams and complemented by a Scat Street Performance harmonic balancer. Flat top pistons result in a 10.28 compression ratio and utilise Hastings Molly rings. Camshaft is a mild hydraulic roller by Howard, featuring 228 degrees duration at 50 thou on the intake, supported by Howard roller lifters in unison with heavy-duty chrome moly push rods. Cylinder headboard configuration is as cast from factory, but featuring precision-cut 5-angle valve seats. Manly stainless valves are utilised with heavy-duty valve springs and retainers that are actuated by Comp Pro Magnum shaft mount roller rockers. Oiling system is complemented by a high-volume ASR high-performance oil pan. Intake manifold is an Edelbrock Performer RPM, topped by a 950 HP series Holly test carb. Ignition is electronic with an advanced curve recalibrated to suit, and spent exhaust gases exit via 4:1 headers. So initial dyno testing, bedding it in, we've done multiple runs as well, up to around about 4,000, 4,500 RPM. We've seen about 380 horsepower so far with around about 440 foot-pound of torque, which is pretty impressive. It's not going to be a big rev of this engine, it's more of a torque monster. We've run 28 degrees and 30 degrees total timing. Now I've just knocked it up to 32. I'm sure it's going to be quite happy at that. So we'll go to 5,500 RPM, but if it sounds good and it doesn't have a rattle, and when I say rattle that means pinging or detonation, I'm going to take it through to 6,000 RPM and we'll see where it lays over. So sit tight, jump in the dyno operator's seat and enjoy the ride. Okay, so welcome to the driver's seat of the dyno control room. Time to fire this old girl up. Ignition, fuel pump, lambda meter so we can check our mixtures. Let's fire this thing up. Prime it. The main pump on for the water brake. Stabilize engine temperatures. And then one of the most important things is these babies here, the knockbox system. This allows us to hear if the engine is detonating during the run. We've got knock sensors bolted to the engine block. Bit of modern technology on an old girl like this, but it's important to be able to monitor that so you can optimize ignition timing. There's a lot going on right here, so we've got oil pressure and oil temperatures, and we've also got an external gauge out there as well, just running into the front of the intake manifold area into the cooling system. As a backup, we've got fuel pressure going into both carb bowls here. Lambda, how rich or how lean the engine is running. Okay, shut her off. Oh, gee, 423 horsepower and 463 foot-pound of torque. That is very, very impressive. You see it starts laying over a little bit. Sort of 5,500, she starts going downhill here, but plenty of torque. Look at that torque. 3,000 RPM, all the way through here. A lot of power under the curve. That's really impressive. Well, I think it's really happy at that ignition timing level. It's safe, it's not even looking like detonating or pinging, so a bit of a play. We'll try a 2-inch spacer on it, do a bolt check and just go over the engine and see if we can make a little bit more power. So it's important after every run to have a good look around and check for things like oil leaks or water seepage. Make sure everything is in place and happy. No fuel leaks. A lot of temperature out here, but everything's looking really good. There's those, see those knock sensors there that bolt onto the side of the block and plug into the loom here. Quite interesting. Little device, knock sensors. Let's just run over the exhaust bolts and make sure everything's happy there. Some of them are a little bit tricky to get to, and it'll scold you if you touch those pipes. You'll regret it. So here's the spacer we'll be running. There's an Aeroflow 2-inch. I like this 4-hole design, particularly with this Venturi style point here. They work quite well. Really good for a strong carb signal, for really good fueling, and they just generally create more airspeed. An intake manifold on this thing's not a bad thing, actually. It's a Performer RPM, and they're reasonably long in the runner lengths and make really good torque and mid-range and top-end power as well. But we'll see what a spacer does. I think the extra volume there and maybe a little bit more airspeed might enhance it a bit more. Might not make much difference on this engine, but it may. We'll soon find out. Okay, let's fire this old girl up and see what she's got. $6,000 RPM. Come on, baby, you can do it. Make some power. .425 horse and 461.8, so in this case didn't make a great deal of difference, but as I mentioned, the intake manifold's quite good in the runner lengths and what have we too, so I'm not surprised. It was already doing quite well. But hey, you've got to do these back-to-back comparisons, but you probably find that it would be a little bit more throttle response with this spacer on the street. So for some applications it absolutely excels, other applications it just enhances. So it's a cool old engine, a really cool deal. A lot of history there. If only the Chrysler engineers could see us today. So Kevin, you're the owner of this sweet big block Chrysler.
Indeed I am, sir, indeed.
You must be pretty happy with the results.
Very happy, almost cracked the magic number of 426, but yeah, absolutely amazing.
So can you tell us a little bit about the vehicle that this engine is going to be going into?
Can do. It's going into a 1959 Imperial LeBaron Crown. It's only one in Australia. It's got the hand-laid stainless steel roof, and it's one of 622 made. And yeah, it's going to be a big, beautiful black beast.
So I believe it's in restoration at the moment?
It is. It's up on our rotisserie right now, but yeah, we're slowly chipping away at it. A few things have got in the way, but it will get there.
So you plan to go with black, obviously, the black engine, hence the black engine?
Yeah, black on black with silver roof and silver interior. So it's going to be big shining hubcaps and all the chrome.
And what a fantastic result from this big block Chrysler. Really good horsepower and a great amount of torque from a drivable all-round package. And look, be sure to subscribe, comment and like this video. We really do need your support to keep this show on the road. We've got some awesome content coming your way, including vehicle features and some fantastic engine builds that'll blow your socks off. See you on the next one.